right, it looks like we are live.
You are now tuned in to Mind, Body, and Soul with ANet, where your hosts, ANet Harris, analyze intriguing life questions and concerns, such as, do Christians suffer from mental illness? Have you wondered why they act abnormal? Or you may ask, what is really going on in their minds? Do you need ANet? Well, keep listening for a biblical understanding of the psychology of the mind.
All right. Hey, welcome guys. It's your girl ANet Harris of Mind, Body, and Soul with ANet. And we are here live doing another virtual live, guys. So come on in and join us on this afternoon. Now, what I'm going to do while I am getting set up, I'm going to try and share. So when you come into the live feed, please go ahead, like and share. Throw up some hearts, some thumbs up for us on this afternoon, and I would really appreciate it. And you know what? When you do that, I'm telling you, you and whoever you share it with will not miss a beat. So I'm so excited this afternoon that I need to go ahead and pray first before I hop into what I'm doing. Lord, we thank you for all things. We thank you for this wonderful day that you've blessed us to see. We thank you for the bright sunshine. We thank you for who you are. Get the glory out of this session and everything we go to say and do. In Jesus' name we pray. And I normally like to quote the first part of Hosea 4:6. And it states, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. And I always say, you know, we don't want to be rejected by the Lord. I'm telling you, because I mean, you know, he has so much in store for us. I tell you, we should want to attain everything that he has so that we can live prosperous and successful in this present world. So let's gain all the knowledge that we can, guys. If you if you're just now tuning in, if this is your first time tuning into Mind, Body, and Soul, I do welcome you. To those of you that normally support us every week, I appreciate you. And I thank you so much for coming in on today. Now, of course, I'm on my Facebook page, ANet, known as ANet. And then I am also on my YouTube channel. A shout out to my producer, Earl Winfrey over Intellectual Radio. We should be on my YouTube channel also at the present time. And then, you know, those who don't get a chance to see everything live, you can always hit the playback and make sure you join us and just jump right on into this session. I am joined, as you can see, this beautiful woman just sitting, waiting as I do my intro on today, sitting beautifully. She's a sweetheart. I'm telling you, you know what? It's funny because I've never met her in person, but her persona and her oh my God, I could just describe her in so many words. She's such a sweetheart. I feel like I've known her all my life, actually.
Yes. I feel the same way.
She's beautiful as well. I'm welcoming to Mind, Body, and Soul, Celeste Jackson. How are you doing on today?
I am doing wonderful today. Thank you so much. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing
That's
good.
Awesome.
Honey, we finally did it. We finally got you.
I know this. They have no idea how long this has been in the making. But yes, I am so thankful to finally be here live with you, even virtually.
Yes.
You're looking amazing, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be on your platform.
Well, thank you. And so are you, my dear. You are looking just as
Thank you.
I love seeing your pictures when you post them. I said, this is confidence. And I'm telling you, when she takes her pictures, you see, all I see is confidence. Confidence. And I'm like, oh, I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's wearing her crown very well.
Yes, I love my head wraps and what they mean. So I definitely, I try to exude that confidence and hopefully inspire others to have that same confidence from within.
Great. Well, this is what we're going to talk about on today, because I have been, and it's so funny. If anybody would take a snapshot of both of our inboxes, Celeste, when you coming on? Celeste. It was
Yes.
so much. I said, I hope I'm not bothering her, but it's just that
Oh,
I
no.
just wanted my guests, my listeners to know who you were and to be introduced to you.
I
Because
appreciate that.
I see the confidence and I see the push, I see the drive, and I'm telling you, you have inspired so many, and I want you to continue to inspire others.
Thank you
Really do.
so much. That means so much. Seriously. No matter if I've heard it ever before, it is every single time that you hear that, it just makes you want to make sure you continue to do what I'm doing and hopefully inspire even just one more. That's all it takes.
All right, all right. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Well, let me do this, guys. I'm going to read a little bit of her bio, and then we're going to get into our discussion. So this is our bio here for Celeste Jackson. She is a dedicated mother of 4 amazing daughters and a loving wife to her high school sweetheart and business partner, Brian Jackson. Shout out to Mr. Jackson. All right. Celeste is the co-owner and vice president of Hotwire Electronics. Woo! An audio, video, and security company for 18 years. She don't look that much older than 18, but okay.
Thank you.
She also owns.
So kind.
It's true. I wouldn't say if it wasn't true. She also owns 3 other successful businesses in the telematics, technology, and customization industries. Mr. 50's Customs, a residential and commercial window film installation facility, which was founded in 1985 by Richard Rubino, now leads as the oldest business she currently owns. Did you hear that? And operates since its purchase and takeover occurred in April of 2016. Yes. Celeste takes great pride in being a motivating force and advocate for women entrepreneurs. As founder and co-owner of Femtech, did I pronounce that right?
Yes, you did.
Femtech Incorporated. Her mission over the last 6 years has been to educate and train women and youth in underserved communities using innovative technology. Femtech has recently developed a program to assist women in becoming gainfully employed in the field services portion of the technology industry that are rarely recognized. And I want to read this one last sentence. Before the year is over, her plans include adding the title of author. Hey now, her list of accomplishments. Yes. Again, welcome again, Celeste Jackson. You know what? I read it. I read that bio a few times over. Every time I read it, I just get so excited. I really do. Because I'm like, this, she is serious. She is serious about what she does. And it shows. It shows. Now, you guys that are coming in, I do appreciate you here on the live feed. I'm trying to watch my live feed and those that are on. I'm going to call out some names here. I see you, Demetria Triplet, Apostle Dion, Latoya Gibson, Tridana McAllister, Carolyn Nesbitt, Beatrice Carter's on, Trina Peace, Ida Gill. And I'm asking all of you, click the share button. Please click the share button. Throw some hearts, if you shared already, thank you. If you haven't, please do so for me right now. And you know what? I want to do this real quick before we jump right into talking about with Celeste. I have to give a birthday shout out today. And Buddy Gill, it is his birthday on today. Buddy Gill is a big brother of mine, and I appreciate that young man so much. He has been the same ever since I met him. Matter of fact, he and his wife, they're the same ever since I met them, just sweet, kind, and caring. He has a birthday on today, so happy birthday, Buddy Gill.
Happy birthday, Buddy.
He's normally a big supporter of Mind, Body, and Soul. I think he's at work today, so I'm not sure if he's able to get on. But there are some that are still essential workers and they have to get out there, but that's okay. Yes. Happy birthday, man. I hope you enjoy your day. So, let's see here. Celeste, I have some questions for you, my dear.
Okay.
So let's start. I know I read your bio, and I normally do this with my guests, and I'm going to ask you to do the same. If you would not mind, if someone came up to you and said, describe yourself, who you are, how would you describe yourself? Talk to us about who Celeste is.
Well, first and foremost, I'm absolutely a woman of God. And I always lead with that and then follow with being a dedicated wife and mother of my 4 daughters, which is a full-time job, absolutely. But I always use the term serial entrepreneur because I have that entrepreneurial spirit. And I was actually born, I believe, with that spirit because I've been an entrepreneur since I was 5 years old. Um, Not on this scale, but when you hear my sister talk about stories, I have done this same sort of building and wanting to create an opportunity since I was 5. So I saw Brandy McCord, one of my favorite sisters. I saw her type superpreneur. I think it was superpreneur she
Yes.
put. Yes. I like that. I think I might adapt to that term, adopt that term also, but I call myself a serial entrepreneur. So I am just somebody that is so enthusiastic about inspiring other women and youth specifically to do what their hearts desire. Even if it's not entrepreneurship, I just want you to follow your dreams. So that's, I'm a business mentor, I call myself a resilience coach. So it really does depend on what it is that I'm focused on doing at that time. But, you know, all of those things encompass Celeste Jackson.
Okay. Summarized very well.
Thank you.
But you know, it's funny. I'm going to throw this in there. Sometimes people, you ask them to describe themselves and they're like, I'm not sure how to describe myself.
Oh, okay.
People have said that. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's interesting. I don't know if it's because they don't want to toot their horn or maybe they just don't know really what to say, you know.
You know what? I believe a lot of people don't know what to say. They haven't taken the time to really think about what it is that they are and what they do. There's a difference. So, you know, I do something, a friend of mine brought up to me, you should do I am statements. And if you can do those like on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, it'll give you some clarity about who you are. So the I am statements are basically you take a piece of paper and you write a line down the middle and you want to write I am at the very top on one side, and then you write I am a on the other side. So sometimes we don't know how to separate what we do from who we are. Our core values are who we are. And so on the I am side would be your core values. So I am a mother. I am a wife. I am God-fearing. I am, you know, a child of God, whatever you would put on the I am side. And then the things that you do would go on the I am a. I am an entrepreneur. I am a, you know, that's your I am side. I am a side. So if you write those out, it becomes a lot more clear who you are.
I love it. See,
she's
already mentoring y'all now. Y'all know.
Yes, that is a part of something that I set up for clients to do. It's a part of homework. So yes,
okay. I love it. It's
important to do. If you do that, you'll learn a little bit about, you know, there's a difference between being a mother and you know, a janitor or a secretary. You know, those are I am a.
Okay.
You are.
Right.
You are loyal. You are, you know, what embodies you. So.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. Okay, this is great stuff. Okay, now take me back because you mentioned about 5 years, the entrepreneurial period, because that was actually one of my questions within you since as long as you can remember.
Yes.
What happened at 5 years old? What did you start doing at 5 years old to?
Okay. So at 5 years old, it was definitely on the child scale at that time. You know, what I used to do was take my allowance at 5. I started kindergarten at 4. So I actually was in first grade at 5 years old.
Oh.
But at 5, I don't know why, because I wouldn't do it today, but my parents used to let me walk to the corner store. Okay, so I had an allowance and I would take my allowance and I would buy penny candy and make little bags, and I would take those to school, and I would upsell them at school. Now that's not allowed now. So please don't do that, children. You can't do that today. If you have kids, don't let them do that because they have banned that. But I used to sell penny candy. And then after school, I would set that same candy up at a table on my porch. And they would come after school because they couldn't walk to the store themselves. I took the initiative to, okay, my parents let me walk to the store. All right, I have this money. If I buy penny candy and I sell it for 3 cents per, then I can invest 1 penny back into my penny candy. So I'm investing in my business. I can buy myself penny candy. That's how I paid myself. And then I had a penny left over to save. So I was saving money and buying penny candy and reinvesting in a business and packaging it. I would get little sandwich bags and tie little garbage ties around them and, bag it up and sell those for 25 cents with 3 pieces or 4 pieces in it, whatever.
Really?
Yes, I did that. And then I moved on to talent shows and charging for talent shows in my backyard. I would get my friends together and we would practice for a week and put together a talent show, make flyers, and allow people into our backyard for $2 or $1, depending on, how much talent I felt like we had at that time. But I had a gated yard, so I would charge them. My sister talks about all of this. She admired it. She really was like, you were on it as a little kid.
Okay.
But those are the types of businesses that I was performing at that age.
But you know what? I know you started off by saying that it wasn't on the scale that it is now, but it started, I asked you that because it started from somewhere.
Yes, yes.
And that, a lot of times you can kind of see like in your children and different things like that, who they will possibly become, or, what I'm saying, by watching what they're doing now, what their interests are. And obviously you had that motivation. And I want to know where it came from, but go ahead. You were going to say something.
So I thought about that thoroughly. And I know without even trying, my mother is where that inspiration came from. She didn't know that she was sparking an entrepreneurial spirit within me. I believe things like that sometimes have to be there. Some of this can't be instilled, but if you encourage it, most people can still do this, even if they don't have the spirit within. They just have to have the will. So that my mother was an Avon person. She did some Mary Kay for a while. She did Amway, and she did Tupperware. And she didn't realize that because I was the baby of the family. So I had to tag along.
Okay.
So I would get to help her set up. I would get to hand out the books to the ladies that gathered. That sort of thing actually was exciting for me. I enjoyed being involved. And she just thought, I have my child with me. Let her do something, But that actually did help inspire me to want to. Number one, it helped remove any fear that I would have to talk to people about something that I was trying to maybe sell or whatever the case may be. So I let her know probably about 5 or 6 years ago that she was absolutely the inspiration for me wanting to be who I am, because she helps me so much. She does my books. That lady is so behind me and she still thinks she has no idea where this sort of drive comes from. But in all honesty, I saw her do multiple things and she still had a 9-to-5. And so that's where it came from.
All right. Shout out to mama.
Yes.
I love it. And I think that, a lot of times you hear people talk about generational curses. You hear them talking about different things that happen within their family that are passed on, whether you believe in the curses or whatever, but we can agree that we do get something from our parents or their parents, and it passes on. Yes. So, of course, we want the positive, we want the blessings.
Yes.
Those things that will help us. And it's good to hear. And I knew it was something. I knew it came somewhere, like you said, Some things can't be instilled. Sometimes you're born with it, or with that desire, that drive, and that push.
Yes.
And that is what's important. And I'm sure when you go out and you encourage others, that's what you look to encourage them with. So
Absolutely.
good,
Yes.
good thing. I see other people that are hopping on here. Let me acknowledge you guys. Buddy Gill, you finally came in. I don't know if you heard about your birthday shout out.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Moni, my niece, is on watching. Brandy is here. Hey, she says, hey there, lady.
Hello.
My cousin Jamone, Demetrius, thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Trenda is on. Buddy Gill says, good afternoon, everyone. And he also says, identifying yourself help to identify your strengths, your weaknesses, your limitations, as well as potential. But thank God that through him, we have the power within to do things we thought impossible. Yes, this is great. I like that comment, buddy, and it's tying into what we're talking about on today. Brandy says Celeste came out of the womb running businesses. I can just about believe that. I can. Let me see, Mama Gwen. Thank you for watching. I know there is a watch party going on, and if my assistant is still on, she can let me know what comments, if there are any over there. But I appreciate you guys that are on the watch party as well. But yeah, this is good stuff. Okay, let me get back to my questions, because I have quite a few. I have quite a few. So we know, and it's funny because you've answered some of these already. When you were bitten by the entrepreneurial bug, and we know that started when you were 5 or somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. So would you consider, because I was going to ask about role models for you, whether it was inside your family, outside of your family. I'm sure your mom was probably listed as one of them. Role model. Do you have any other role models or others that you look to? You know, we know about what happened when you were young, but then as you were growing older, did you look at how other people started their businesses, or does anybody stand out to you?
Yes, I have. I mean, I'm surrounded by amazing people. So I have been able to be involved in every business that I've ever been involved in stems from something else. So my sister got me involved in logistics in 2003 or early 2004. And in all honesty, every business that I've ever been involved with, a corporation, I get there and I have a hard time not moving up or taking over. And so how I learned to run my businesses has always been from the corporations that I started with as whatever level employee, and moving on up to running their businesses. So I do have role models that are not necessarily close friends and family. It's been the corporations that I learned from, the good old boys that I wound up learning from, that allowed me a seat at the table so that I could learn what they did, and then they trusted me with their businesses. Even as I ran my own, I still worked with a lot of them as I was running Hotwire, because they didn't want to let me go. So I just, I did both, but they showed me the ropes. They took me to places, flew me to places, let me have the meetings that I needed to sit in on in order to get the knowledge that I needed for the businesses that I'm in. So I'm thankful for that. I will thank my sister for the logistics aspects that I do right now, that I'm still currently running, and have had one of my largest clients with through her introduction to a company that I was working with, that now Hotwire still does work for. So yeah, I wouldn't say there were a whole lot of entrepreneurs other than like the multi-level marketing, like what my mother was doing. There were a lot of Avon ladies at my church. There were a lot of, and I loved that. I always supported them and bought from them, that sort of thing, but never, not too many that were running their own corporations. We wound up getting an accountant to incorporate our business for the first time because we didn't know how to do it. And then after that, I learned how to do it and I incorporated the rest of my businesses. So, I just kind of picked up from the corporations that I was working for.
Okay. And that's actually, that says a lot about you. You didn't just start working, with these corporations or whatever, just say, okay, I'm just going to do this for this amount of time. But you went in there like, okay, I'm going to learn. And then
Yes.
they obviously saw that within
Mhm.
you. Like you said, they were willing to share, information with you. And that is something in and of itself. Now, which is going to take me, it's going to take me out of sequence with my questions, but I'm going to ask this. Now, and many of you that are just now joining us on today, I do appreciate you. I see you guys hopping in. Josh, hey, Bishop Cedric, I see you. Thanks for watching. And, we're talking today with Celeste Jackson, and she actually has on her bio, underneath her name, serial entrepreneur. Yes. And, I looked, I saw that, I said, oh my goodness, but it's true about her. She's a serial entrepreneur, which, and it's not, I don't take it that she's not satisfied with, one business or whatever, but she's still striving. She's still, and maybe she sees needs and I'm like, okay, I can do that. And I admire that. You know what I mean? I really do. I really do. Look, I'm looking at them.
Thank you. You have got it. You hit it on the nail on the head, because it's been difficult to get people to understand, number one, that when you start a business and you get it running smoothly on its own, that it's okay to start another business. Even my husband, because we have a different sort of entrepreneurial spirit. So I generally start the majority of our businesses. Now, he's always been my partner, always backed my ideas, my thoughts. He has always been right there. He is the brawn a lot of times, and I'm the brain most of the time. So as far as businesses are concerned, because, some people, we're all built differently. And there are some people that don't necessarily want to follow all of their passions. They're comfortable in, whatever is traditionally laid out. As long as they make a certain amount of money, or they have a certain amount of time to themselves, or, whatever the case may be. For me, that's never been enough. So I do see a need and feel a need.
Yeah.
And that's why I have multiple businesses, and some of them connect in certain ways. And then there are some that just connect with my personality.
I love it. I love it. And as you were saying, some of them that connect, I was thinking about some of them that connect. And then I thought about the one that comes off of your personality.
Yes.
But we're going to talk about all her business on today. You guys, if you have any questions, any comments for my guest on today, go ahead, throw them into the comment section. We would love to hear from you on today, because she's talking to us today. I have her in the Mind, Body, and Soul spotlight. And so we're highlighting her because she is a business entrepreneur. She is a serial entrepreneur, but most importantly to me, she's a woman business entrepreneur. And that excites me, that motivates me all the more. I know I see you gentlemen on here. Don't go anywhere. You don't have to run anywhere. Maybe you can encourage your daughters, your mothers, whoever, that they can do it as well. So I never did really get into my off kilter question that I was going to ask you, but tell me now. You said you talked about the role models. You talked about the individuals that you learned from. How hard is it? And be honest with me, as a woman, is it to start a business, to continue running a business, all the aspects of it? Because, I was talking with someone the other day, as women, we're very detail oriented.
Yes.
Give us some thumbs up, gentlemen. Yes, we
yes.
are. You ask for somebody to give a recap of something. Ask a guy, and he'll just give you the beginning and the end. Ask a female, she gonna go all the way in the middle. Yes. She's gonna get every detail. Okay. So how hard is it, for you to break into opening up, starting a business, and continuing it?
Okay. So I think it depends on the business. Okay. However, I will tell you that I've not chosen the easy path. So I'm in a male dominated industry.
I'm not surprised.
Everything except for beauty, I believe. I'm in a male dominated industry with my businesses. So I would say I like to help women simplify what they think might be the monster that they can't tackle, because you can start a business, and if it's your passion, you will stick with it. You just have to make sure that you like it. If you don't like it, you're not going to be able to sell it to anybody else. You're not going to be able to get anybody else to want to be involved, want to assist you, want to, support you. So it really just depends on what you do. I don't think that it's any harder for us in the sense that we are women and getting into business. Yeah. But I do think that if we choose something that we, one, either aren't interested in and we only do it for, let's just say the financial benefit, that makes it harder. Because it's hard to want to stick with something that you don't like. So if you like it, it's generally going to work out well for you. Okay. And we also have to understand that our normal circle, our friends and family, are not always our target audience and our target market. So just be prepared to stay open-minded, be a forever student, always be willing and open to learning, and you'll be able to run your business. It's not that hard, ladies. And then with me and my choices for being in the automotive customization, audio, video, and security business, that is male dominated, and it was very difficult for me to, I had to command my seat. So people like to say, is he coming? Is the guy going to, be here or do this? And I always have to, I'm your guy. I am your guy. Whoever you were looking for, me and these nails are going to get it done. So you can stop looking. Right. But yeah, no, it's not anywhere near as difficult as it seems. I don't want to make it seem easy, but if you choose a passion, and you choose something that you're willing to, you have to be realistic about the goals that you set for that business and make sure they're attainable. When we set goals that are way too high for us to actually attain on our own, then we want to give up, because we set that goal, we tried to reach it, we couldn't get there. We weren't quite there in the amount of time that we've given ourselves, and we're always the hardest on ourselves. So once we haven't reached that goal, we feel like we failed. And then once you fail, a lot of people don't continue. Yeah. But me, even if I fail forward and I continue. I learn from it and I move on. I have, in my lifetime and in the past 5 years, lost a $250,000 client. One client. I did not cry. I did not stop. I did not allow that to move me. And that client was back on my roster that same year. So you just have to stick with what you're doing. You have to be passionate about what you're doing. Okay. I hear compassion, know what be compassionate about what you want to do. That'll help. Passionate, yes. And I also heard, and you actually said this, and I'm gonna get your questions in. I see it. Yeah, Brandy. Even when I fell forward. I love that. Yeah. But anyway, real quick, you talked about, and I may be paraphrasing, may not be getting exactly right, but you mentioned about the family and the friends. Yes. When you're starting your business, basically, are you saying don't necessarily let that deter you if you don't get the support? Yes, I'm saying do not let that discourage you. A lot of times when we don't get that direct support from our friends and family, we immediately feel like no one's going to want to support us. When generally what I've found over the course of all this time is I've had more support from people that have been strangers, have been, definitely outside of my circle, until I had proven businesses. A lot of times family and friends want you to prove yourself. You have to say, they have to see this working for you. They have to see that Gucci bag on your arm, you driving a Jaguar and this and that before they want to support you a lot of times. And that's just the honest truth. But you do get general support from some of your friends and some of your family every now and then, but that is not that's not going to make your business flourish. You have to understand, you have to look outside. My mother can't buy, all the candles that I have or, whatever in order for my business to flourish, because then she's broken. I have a little something. But you actually have to learn that you may not get the support from your family. You may not get the support from your friends. It does not mean your business model is not right. Doesn't mean your business plan is not good. It doesn't mean your product is horrible. You just have to understand that you have to continue to push and to continue to market and continue to look outside of that initial circle.
Ooh, you know what? You are talking to me on today. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Oh,
you
good.
are talking straight to me.
Good.
I was having a conversation with someone right before the show, and I think they're still on here, and they know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, you hit that dead on. You really did. And I appreciate that because, a lot of times, even, like you said, in your businesses, when you're starting up, you will, and to me, it's probably almost human nature to kind of rely on your family, those that know you, those that you know, and you just really think you're going to get that support, from them. Yeah. And then you look around and wait a minute, where y'all at?
Right.
But then you look and see that the support is coming from somewhere else.
Yes.
Now, I will say sometimes it kind of make you feel a little.
It does, but that's discussed. That's discussed a lot. Join business groups. I encourage everyone who wants to start a business, even if you have not, join, some of the Facebook business groups. All of that is free to do. And you get tidbits and nuggets of information along the way. And it will be, entrepreneurship is hard. Yeah. And to find other entrepreneurs that are going through the same struggles or the same triumphs that you are, or at the same starting level, looking for the same information, is very beneficial. So you want to make sure you join those groups that'll help you. Brandy started a couple. I was in some groups with her. I enjoyed having that feedback, and just, no matter how far you are into the game or how new you are to the game, you will learn something. So join those groups, and it's just good. It's like a support team. It's just like anybody, like say there was a divorcee club or a single parent club. It's the same sort of thing. You're going through similar things. Yeah. So you will see that everybody is not getting that family support, friend support that they would love to have. And you also have to not hold grudges or have any animosity towards those friends and family that are not supporting you, because they don't know any better. And they've not been entrepreneurs. They have not needed your support in that way. They just go to a 9-to-5. They understand the 9-to-5. They don't understand entrepreneurship. So it's not that they don't want to support you. They will in their time if they're meant to. But if they don't, charge it to them not understanding and not their hearts.
You girl, I'm telling you, Lord, I thank you for radio today. And see, I got really excited about today's session, because I just knew you were going to bring something to the table, and you're doing that.
Thank you.
Let me hop back over here. Facebook Live. I appreciate you guys. Watch Party. I appreciate you. I'm looking at a couple of different directions here, but thank you so much. Let's see. Janice, my cousin, is on. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I think I said your name. I'm not sure. Michelle Miller, thank you. Brandy says, what techniques have you used to cause your businesses to survive or maybe even flourish during the shutdown?
Okay.
That's an excellent question.
Yes, that's an excellent question. I pride myself in trying to be proactive. So though I had absolutely no idea about this pandemic or any of this that could be caused, I've never seen the country shut down ever. So I don't know how people would generally prepare for that. But my business was ready for that anyway. We've kind of been operating in a way in which we rely on technology because I'm in the industry. So I was 100% prepared to still run my business and not have to have human contact. So we are still currently functioning. We're still doing appointments. We don't have human contact. I use digital payment forms. Set up everything via appointment schedulers, the calendars, or via phone. People are trusting of us, so that's something that maybe not every business, if they're new, are gonna necessarily have. But people are trusting of us, so they allow us. They will drop off in our drop box. They will allow us to have their vehicle for hours. They will let us, they will send payments before we've started the work. They do all of that, so we're fortunate. I'm very blessed, and I don't take any of that for granted. But my husband I'm going to credit him with a lot of the processes that we set in place that were in place maybe since 2010, because we do a lot of things. You ring my smart doorbell, I know you're at my door. I have a Dropbox. You can drop your keys in my Dropbox. Product, we have a website. Websites are going to be more important than anything at this point when you can't have human contact. The digital real estate is so important. So we had our website for the last 10 years. I have several websites, so businesses that they can contact via those websites, so they can purchase things via the websites. So I'm fortunate. But what I would suggest for anybody else that's looking for ways to make sure that you can stay in business during this time, I wish some of the places around me didn't just completely close, because I really wanted to have contact with them so I could help them come up with ways that they could have remained open. It just would have been on a different level, which is what they are actually trying to switch us over to at this moment. But because we were already doing those things, it's too late now, but I could have given them some insight about how they could continue in business throughout the last couple months. And maybe it would be different. It's not going to be like someone sitting inside of your restaurant, but you can still cook your food. They can still come to the door. You can still do a curbside service, the things that they suggest safely.
Right.
Yes, thank you, Brandy, for your question, but we are surviving, thank the Lord.
That's a blessing. That is tremendously a blessing. And obviously that shows your heart, because you said you wished you could have helped a number of the businesses that ended up closing, because unfortunately it seemed like everything just happened just all at it did. Everything happened all at once, and then I heard, like, before the government shut down different things, that it was going to be a shutdown, but some people are like, no, I don't really think so, or whatever. And then bam, just like it just slapped you upside your face. So, your heart kind of goes out. It does. And I've seen a number on the news of companies or businesses, small businesses, that have had to close, because they didn't, maybe they weren't considered essential, or, they didn't have the whatever wherewithal to continue to function. And, it's interesting also that you said that you all had already started, kind of going in that direction. And
in case, you have to be prepared, as prepared as you possibly can for anything. So we try to make sure we're prepared for whether or not my husband gets sick and can't do those physical portions of the job that he is an expert in. If we have automated systems set in place so that if I can't do any of our invoicing or accounting or whatever the case may be, you do have to set systems in place so that if anything like this ever happens. Now, of course, if technology ever shuts down, then that's a whole nother story. But until then, we set whatever we can up and set it in place so that if this were to happen, I have this backup. If I can no longer do this part of my business, which is another reason why I have started so many different diverse businesses, because you can't just put all your eggs in one basket. Somebody can easily knock your legs right off from under you if you have everything relying on one thing. So that's why I've never done that.
That's such a good point. And, you know, they actually tell you that, well, like a lot of these young athletes, maybe they're in high school or something, or grade school, going to high school, whatever. And that's all they think is eat, sleep, and drink basketball. And they don't have anything else to fall back on. You know, any good coach or parent or whomever, you know, mentor, whatever, should instruct them. You need to have something else. Now, you may be excellent in your craft. You can dunk, you can do this, that, and the other, or in football or whatever, but you need to have something else.
Yes, if you hurt that ankle, twist that ankle, that's it for that basketball career. You have to have something to fall back on. So I do instill that in my children. I have them looking at all avenues. You know, because I'm in the house with a 5 other creatives, and that right there is something that can be stressful at times. So I have one that's at the Art Institute of Chicago. That was her dream, and we encourage dreams around here. So, you know, I'm an advocate for college, but I also understand because I've had my children with me throughout this whole entrepreneurial journey, their entire lives, that's all they've known. So they do understand that they can just become an entrepreneur. They can do trade school. We give them options. I do support continued education, but I know that there are other ways. I believe in the trades. I believe in plumbers and our, you know, welders, and I love women, female welders. You know, all of those associations that people don't get introduced to. Young girls don't get introduced to the idea that they can grow up and don't have to be, you know, the traditional 5, doctor, lawyer, fireman, policeman, you know, veterinarian. That's what we were taught, but you can do other things and be extremely successful, create a full life, have a career. But if you're not introduced to it, then you don't have, you can't necessarily give yourself that vision. So a lot of us have needed that assistance and that vision. And I have much gratitude to my art teachers and my drama instructors and those people who helped me see outside of the box and understand that I could create for myself whatever was not there already for me. So, yeah. So those would be included. Those people would be included in my role models. They weren't necessarily entrepreneurs, but it does take for somebody to show you, you know, something different in order for you to see something and do something different.
And, you know, as you were saying, as you were talking, rather, I was thinking to myself, I said, this girl, she thinks outside the box.
Yes, yes, I do.
She thinks outside the box, but you know what? That's a good thing. That's a good thing, because then that way you won't, you won't be like just stay in the box. You know, you can realize your potential. And then it also goes back to what you were talking about earlier, knowing yourself. You know, understand who you are. You know, so
and those who are your direct role models also have to learn you. They have to know something about you. We as parents have to do, I believe, a better job of learning who our children are, so that we don't just force them along a traditional path. Because a lot of the failure that we see comes from forcing people who don't want or didn't expect or don't want certain things for themselves. They want other things, but they don't believe it's supported. So they, unfortunately, you know, they struggle. And I think a lot of depression and things like that actually stem from not being supported in your own dreams. I'm not talking about anything outrageous. Of course, you have to have a dream that's, you know, something viable that you can actually do. But we should get to know our children and the youth in the neighborhood. If we want everything to get better, we have to help, you know, others see vision along the way. If they don't have that parent or role model at home that's going to help them see that they don't have to just simply, you know, work a fast food job or this or that, and they show them that there are other options and there are other ways, you know, we all rise together. So
yeah, there you go. Or if they work in the fast food, realize that you can own that business.
You can own it. McDonald's will help you own it. You work at that fast food restaurant, and when you go there, you go so that you can also enroll in that McDonald's University, and they will support you and fund you for your own McDonald's. It absolutely happens. I have stories posted on my page, mother, daughter, they are generations. Once you know better, you do better. So,
okay. Let me read some more comments here and recognize a few more individuals, because I want you to start talking about, we want to go into talking about her own businesses. You know, she has so many. So we're going to talk to you about them one today. But yeah, this is good stuff. I'm loving every moment of this right now. Buddy Gill says, Celeste gets it. The secret to success in business is to find a void in society and then fill that void. Secondly, she's successful because she helps others to get what they need.
Thank you, buddy.
Get it on head, buddy. My cousin Mary Ann, thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Lisa Waldrop, I appreciate you. Buddy also says your friends and family are known as your warm market. They treat you the coldest. He said, and as many no's as you may get, all you need is that one yes.
Absolutely.
Man, you on it today, buddy. That must be the birthday thing or something. Lisa Madden is on. Thanks for watching, my dear. Elder Kevin McGee is on. We do have a spoken word from him that we're going to play before we end today's session. Let's see. Janice says this is great information. And Janice, my cousin, she has her own business as well. And so, you know, a lot of you that are on here, you may be starting a business, you may be thinking about it. Maybe you started one business and you're trying to see how you can manage to go into starting something else. I'm telling this is the young lady to listen to on today, because she not only, she doesn't, I think I better say this nicely, but she not only started businesses, but she is successful. She is thriving. She's not, starting something here and this is falling down over here. And then she started this one, this falling down. The Lord has blessed her husband, her family. He has blessed her and given her knowledge and wisdom, and then how to get insight, on what to do and how to be successful as well. Buddy says, exactly, your friends and family have not been exposed like you have to entrepreneurship. They do not share your dreams. I was once told that if it was for everybody, then buddy, Lord Jesus, then everybody would be doing it and it would not be called an opportunity.
He is correct. He's 1000% correct. Let me say this. I learned a long time ago, when looking for technicians for Hotwire and for installs to you. My husband has an extreme amount of integrity in his work. And it's difficult to find technicians that have that same integrity, the same passion about the work. So when you are a business and you have people representing you, especially when it's outside of your actual company walls, I have learned the hard way and the long way that it is difficult to find people who have that same integrity, that same passion, that same drive, that don't have their own businesses. When they do have that passion, that integrity, and that drive, and the skill, they generally do have their own businesses. So if they don't, you're either paying them like a business owner, or they already have a business. So it's difficult to find people that are built for your opportunity in the way in which you are. So, you have to learn and become innovative in ways to expand, because I'm only one person. So if I want to achieve everything that I'm trying to achieve in life, it can't just be me. I have to clone myself or have others, others have, the same sort of passion for what it is that I'm doing and want to do it for me and with me.
Yeah.
In order for me to have, build.
Okay.
So he's correct.
And you brought me to something else. My goodness. I don't know if I'm correct in my questions, but let me ask you this. So with that in mind, knowing that you really need to have someone that's like-minded or on the same path. Is it difficult to find them? And then how do you get beyond that difficulty? Because you still have to push on. You still have to press on. I mean, I think I remember a young lady who, she has a business, wonderful business. And she was trying to find workers, you know, to help her, you know, do the same thing that she was doing. I don't want to call it the exact business because you guys, some people know who I'm talking about. But anyway, she ran into a few individuals that were just, they obviously were just trying to look for a paycheck. And then she ran into a creep who ended up taking her money and this and the other. But what do you say to those individuals who run into those issues and not finding those people who are, you know, of like mind?
Yes, that is one of the hardest parts about this, is building with like-minded people. I have had to just do hiring via core values at this point. At first, I was looking for skill, like technical skill and the ability, you know, we look for the regular corporate things, loyalty and timeliness and all of those sort of things, customer service. Core values are important because if you find somebody with similar core values, you can generally teach them everything else. So the hard part for us, like with window tinting, people want to learn window tinting so that they can become a window tinter. Why wouldn't they want to learn that skill so that they can eventually do that for themselves? So that's one of the hardest industries. Any technical skill that you can train someone without them having to go to school is going to be one of the hardest positions to fill permanently. So I have learned that I've had a female window tinter for the last 4 years. And she is actually a sheriff also. That's her full-time job, so she works for me part-time. However, I understand that she's going to do some of this for herself. I want her to advance. I want her to do things. So I understand also that I have a limit and that she's there to help me and assist me and learn from my window tinter who's been a tinter for 35 years, my main window tinter. She can learn and absorb from him. She can take that and start her own business, and I encourage that. I had to get to that place because nobody's going to want to work for me forever. I didn't want to work for anyone forever. So understanding that is a part of that battle for us as entrepreneurs. We have to be willing to, sometimes we want to hoard our information and not share because we're scared that it's just going to be taken and they're not going to provide me any benefit. I'm only going to be benefiting them. Unfortunately, that is the way that this works. And we can do the best that we can to vet them and make sure. I use services that do some of the vetting for technical skill in that way. And usually if they will go through a service, a lot of times they're a little better than somebody that just heard about the job. But we just also have to be understanding and willing that some people are going to do some of this on the side. People know how to install radios and alarm systems now. They're going to be at home and installing on their time. I have to understand that. And as long as you're not taking my clientele,
there you go,
onto your business, then I can support you in certain ways. I can give you discounted prices for your own side hustle, but you do the work that I'm hiring you for with integrity while you're on, our time, and just make sure that you are consistent and as loyal as possible in that way. But we do have to understand people are not going to, they're not going to be us. They're not going to have the same exact passion that we have for our businesses, because we were the ones that were given this dream. And, we are trying to just expand our abilities, and we have to not just use any old thing, but, the best that we can get from the pool that we have to pull from.
Yeah. You're dropping some knowledge today. You really are. Thank you for that. Lisa says preparation is key. I agree with that. Buddy says, yes, be system dependent, not people dependent. Love it. Apostle Dion says this is good. Thank you, my co-host. Let's see. Yolanda Bateman, thank you for watching. We appreciate you. Lisa also says, gotta have other systems in place so you have multiple streams of income, which is so key. It is so key. Chantel, hey, my good friend, haven't seen you in a minute. Thanks for watching. Joe McCord is on. Appreciate you. Let's see. I do want you to start talking about your businesses. I don't know which one you want to start with, but I want to hear about all of them. I want to hear about all of them. And then, because, those of you that are just not joining us, again, we're talking to Celeste Jackson today. She's in our Mind, Body, and Soul spotlight. And we're highlighting her because she is a serial entrepreneur. She is a business owner of many businesses, and she's successful. Throw that in there. Throw that in there. Brandy called her a superpreneur. Is that right? Was it superpreneur?
I think so. Yes.
Superpreneur, serial entrepreneur. And, if you want to hear anything about starting a business, continuing a business, this is the young lady that you need to hear from on today. So this is what we're discussing here on Mind, Body, and Soul. So let's, again, talk to us about your businesses that you have. I don't know, how much you want to go into it when they started, which one started, and sometimes I think you said some are linked to others or what have you. So
yes. I will start with our first baby, which is Hotwire Electronics. That was started in 2001, in January of 2001. Actually, it started prior to that, but we incorporated in January 2001. So that business was birthed from a corporation that I worked at in 1995. Oh, my age. I worked in Circuit City in 1995. I was the customer service manager, or went from their CD department, worked my way up to their customer service manager, and then operations. So Circuit City had a 12-volt department. And what 12-volt is just items that work off of 12 volts. And that was car audio, alarm systems, anything that you can install as an accessory in your vehicle. So they called that area the road shop. And in 1997, they had a manager, they had some employees, they were very steady. That was a very difficult department to get into because it's very technical. It's not like, selling something and handing somebody something. You have to wire things up. You can literally blow something up, burn something up, electrocute yourself. So you have to actually have some technical training for it. So a position became available in 1997. And I was dating my husband, then high school sweetheart at the time, or right after high school. And so I said, yeah, I know you don't have any technical skill, but I think we should give that a shot. I like that. I had been back there. I'd been hanging out and kind of learning things and seeing what the opportunity was. So he came, he applied, he overwhelmed them with, they were super excited. They hired him. Within 6 months, he took over their road shop. So that is how we got into the industry that we're in still currently today. And we're very thankful to a gentleman named Mark Hiskus, who trained my husband. But Circuit City was on it. They sent you to school. They sent us to Virginia to train. We had to be certified. We did all of those things as teenagers.
Wow. Okay.
So Circuit City was awesome. That was an awesome experience and something I'm grateful for. So with that being said, after working a few years for them for a decent salary as managers, the corporate kind of fatigue started to set in. And we saw what we could actually turn that business into. So my husband and a partner of his who also worked at Circuit City started working out of our home garage.
Wow.
And that's in the 90s. They were working out of our home garage and their reputations were preceding them. So it got too overwhelming to be our garage thing. and we decided to go ahead and get an accountant and incorporate. And that is how Hotwire was born. So Hotwire has been in existence for 19 years and counting. And it is the brick and mortar location that it is right now for the last 15 years. We've been in the same location for 15 years. And yeah, I'm very, very proud of that business. It has raised my children and my family. And it allowed us a lot of opportunities. We've traveled the country, Laredo, Texas. We've been to Mexico. We've been to Wisconsin, Louisville, Iowa, every border, doing installations mobily through that business. So.
Okay. Whoa. Okay. So that's the longest one, the longest running.
That's the longest. That's the longest one that we started organically ourselves.
Right.
Mr. 50's Customs is the oldest business that exists. It was birthed in 1985 by Richard Rubino, who still works for me. Hi, Richard.
Wow.
And he had the business for 30 and a half years prior to me buying it in April of 2016. He sold me the business with the hopes of just teaching us how to do the business and training some of my own employees, and then he has never left. So, so I am very grateful and thankful. That business, whew, okay, so he did his thing also as a business owner. So I'm very grateful that he wanted his legacy to continue. And he had been tinting our vehicles for our business. So Hotwire was able to offer window film as a service for the last 10 years. Oh. And he was tinting our vehicles. He tints all the auto mall vehicles, police vehicles, all in the area. He was tinting all of those vehicles through Mr. 50's Customs. Very well known, like you said in your introduction, on the South Side. That business actually transferred over to me. So I was able to get collision business, the police business that he had already acquired. His name and reputation actually transferred to my business, and I was able to keep that business, which I'm prideful about that, because like I mentioned, the good old boys thing before, he is an Italian gentleman in his 60s and had a certain clientele, including, people that want to support Italian business owners. And, I had to transition into getting them comfortable with continuing the business. And allowing them to understand that I was going to keep that same integrity that he always had, even if he should not have stayed, which he has, and I'm very grateful, and trained my employees. We were going to keep that same integrity. So I'm very grateful that those companies have also trusted me and gotten used to the transition of dealing with me specifically. They don't ever see Rick, and they're comfortable with that, and I'm grateful for that.
Well, that says a lot about you and
Thank you.
Your husband as well, because yeah, you may have gotten the his former clientele basically based off of his name or what he had built with them, but I guarantee you that you were on the cutting block.
Oh yes, right away, and known. They told me. So this was no secret. I had to, it was a show and prove in order to keep that clientele, and they have been back for years to come. So I'm very grateful.
Cool. Okay, so now that was the oldest one that you all actually took over.
Yes.
So then you have, how many more after that? Is it 3 more?
I have Installs to You, which was birthed from an opportunity from Hotwire, that client that I was telling you about, the $250,000 client for the year. That business requires technicians to live on the road. So Installs to You was birthed because I needed to have some employees and some 1099 contractors doing certain work on the road. So I purchased vehicles for them to travel. I had to, logistically set up their routes and hotels and, that sort of thing. And that was different than what Hotwire provides. We're a consumer electronics store and an installation facility. So Installs to You facilitates fleet work and commercial work on semi-trucks, fleet vehicles like plumbing vehicles and electrical vehicles, heating and cooling vehicles. Any company that has a fleet, Installs to You takes care of those installations through a few large brokers, actually. So that business was birthed from sitting at the table again with that large client who shared with me the ways in which we could work that business, make the most profit from that business, and also set it up in a way in which it was not as financially taxing as it could have been had I tried to keep it all housed under Hotwire.
Yeah. Okay. That ambition is just kicking through. Okay, now not gonna stop here. I got 3. Okay, what's the next one?
Okay, so we did Hotwire, Mr. 50's, Installs to You. Okay, so then I have Femtech Inc. And what that is, that business makes me extremely proud. That was started because as a woman field technician, a female field technician at Hotwire, I found that a lot of my clients were not expecting or were admiring the fact that I was able to provide certain services, or that I had certain knowledge, and that I had the ability to perform certain tasks that they just didn't foresee being something that a woman would be able to perform. I've never thought that way, but that I do understand it. Right. So in encountering in those interactions, Femtech needed to start programs that showed women where their batteries in their vehicles were, how to change fluids, so that they didn't have to rely on or be misused and abused by mechanics and others that were taking advantage of them. They were bringing me bills that were charging them hundreds of dollars, and it was just diagnostics and nothing being done. And that was bothersome for me. So I had to, one, help women that were coming to me directly with questions and were inspired by my position, and then also reach out to those just so that I could educate on the fact that you can do certain things that they just wouldn't necessarily be introduced to in another fashion.
Okay. Love it. I love it.
Thank you.
It goes that big old heart again, reaching out to reaching out to other folks. Now, did we get them all?
That's not all. I have other businesses, but those are the majority. Those are the majority.
I love it, guys. I love it. Okay, let's see here. Greg Owens, thank you for joining us on today. You know what I think I want to do right here is actually play our spoken word. Yes. And then I'll come back and I'm going to ask you a few more questions before we get out of here today. So I want you guys that are listening, if you're just not joining us, we're talking to Celeste Jackson, serial entrepreneur, woman entrepreneur, and she's such a motivator and an encourager to all, not just females, but she does advocate for young women and for, the underprivileged as well. So we are going to listen to the spoken word by Elder Kevin McGee, and he normally pens a spoken word from Mind, Body, and Soul every week pertinent to the lesson or the topic that we are engaging in. So let me get this set up. And Celeste, let me know if you can hear this. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear this spoken word, okay?
Oh, yeah, multiple streams of creating your dreams, entrepreneurship at its best, and you are the embodiment of success. Top lady of distinction, fine and fierce, a woman who deserves luxury and power to command everything that comes across you. Forever the boss lady, defined as a woman of determination. Never give up, never give in, because your goal is to always win. Driven by responsibility, you just don't heap the laws upon yourself, but your aim is to give back so others may find their way. You are a vivacious and strong black woman of today, taking advantage of the road that others paved so that you can succeed and excel. Not sitting on your do nothing, but you are definitely doing something. Everything you touch turns to gold, so I guess you live up to your name. Celeste, whose name means heavenly, has certainly been guided by the master to grab destiny's hands and create a promised land. Intriguing you are because you have set your sights on the highest star and brought it down to you.
Wow. Okay, I did not know that it was going to be a special spoken word that was absolutely sounded like it was written specifically for me. I heard a lot that just spoke to me. That's awesome. Beautiful. That was beautiful. Thank you so much.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Elder McGee, you did it again. You know.
Yes.
Wow. To my left.
I'm speechless. Okay. And that's
he hit it on the head. Look, even got the meaning of your name and everything.
Yes, I love saying that too. When people ask me what my name means, I'm like, heavenly joy.
Yeah. Right. See there? All right. Yeah, and so I thank God because you are definitely inspiring on today. Let's see. Lisa says she appreciates you for being willing to give information to others.
Always.
And Anthony Mickey Thomas, I see you on. Thanks for watching on today. But yeah, guys, if you have any other questions, you can still throw them into the comment section. Even after we end on today, we can always go back and take a look. Elder McGee said, "Where's my check?" How about I call Dr.
Just clap it up for you. Thank you so much.
Hercules, no, this stuff. No, but seriously. But that was definitely on point, McGee, because you actually, touched on a lot that is connected to Celeste and what she's doing. So again, we thank you for that spoken word. We'll talk about the check later, okay? We'll talk about the check later. Now you've talked about your businesses. We talked about how you even began, how you started. But let's kind of talk about your family a little bit. You are the mother of 4 wonderful daughters, as you stated at the beginning.
Yes.
You're blessed with a wonderful husband. How is that support and within your family? And then I also, because I talked about this actually in my pre-show about you passing this on to your children. Now, I had no clue that you had learned some things, these things from your mom. But how are you passing this on to your children as well? Talk about the support and then how you're passing it on.
I sure will. I am extremely blessed to have the family that that God has sent me to. And my children are my absolute why. People ask you why you do the things you do. They are the reason why I do the things I do. I want to create a legacy for them. So their support means everything to me. And they are extremely supportive, even if they don't necessarily even know that they want to be right now. They are supportive. And it is hard. It's hard to get children into your family business. A lot of times that's not as easy as it may seem. I've seen that growing up. You always saw the barbecue spot. They had their whole, the children ringing up and this and that. And it's been difficult for me to get them to be interested in the things that we do because they're more technical. And so they think they're too hard. But we've been trying since they were little, and now they're finally the oldest 2. Well, the oldest and then skip 1. the second youngest, they help me a lot at the shop. The middle, the second oldest is on her focus to go to Harvard, so she's
not interested in our business right now. We're going to let her do her thing.
So their support means everything. My husband is my number one cheerleader, but he is also, like I said, he's the heavy lifter. So he's been right there the entire time, no matter whether he's a part of the business. And sometimes, you know, you get to that point where he's like, well, that's your business. Why do I have to do it? Oh, wow. You know, but he's right there, always supportive, just kind of like, you know, I'm always doing something, and it does need to be your passion. Yeah. So he's been an amazing support. My children have been amazing and understanding, because an entrepreneur life with, you know, growing up with two parents that are entrepreneurs, that's different than, you know, knowing exactly what time your parent is going to come home. You know, all of the things that we have to prepare for as entrepreneurs. I don't have a set salary as far as like a weekly income. I have to create that. And a lot of times I'm creating it on a weekly basis. You never know, I might be creating it on a daily basis, but it is something that we have to consistently do. So that's different than, you know, the mom that knows that she's going to get 783 on Friday, and that's, you know, how it's going to work. So they've been very supportive of that journey. And we're at a place where we're very thankful and blessed to be stable and to sustain the lifestyle that we enjoy. And so I'm thankful for that. But now, as far as they're concerned, I talked to them about their own journeys and their businesses since they were 7 and 8 years old. So Ryan had a business since she was 9. Ty started had a food truck purchasing cakes from her since she was 9. She would make butter cakes and pound cakes and sell them by the slice wholesale to the truck. So she has Sweetest Tie. Ryan has facial expressions, where she's an MUA. My oldest is a makeup artist, and also she's at the Art Institute, but she does drawing. I don't know if anybody's ever seen her drawing, but if you've been on my page, I've posted her artwork. So she's an artist, so she does logos, and she's done all of my logos. I incorporate them in the businesses in those ways as well, creatively. She's done, my husband did Hotwire's logo, but my daughter has done probably the last 3 logos that I've done for a business. Yeah, it takes some encouraging and some, you know, coaxing and coercing, but that's okay. Right. She gets it done. Okay. And so, yeah, they're very supportive. I'm very blessed.
I love it. I love it. You know, again, when we talked about family and friends earlier, but
yes,
that's your you know, immediate family, and it's good to know that they are right in there with you. And then, now you mentioned about your husband. He said, why does he have to do some things if it's like, you know, a certain business or whatever? Yeah. But then that also attests to him not holding you back, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Because some men will be like, no, we need to do this or whatever. So that's something in and of itself to have that.
As a mentor, I've had to help a lot of my clients overcome that, because there is not a set amount of support. Just because someone is your husband or your spouse or your partner does not mean that they're going to be supportive of your journey. So that is extremely important, just like morals when raising your children. The support that you receive from your partner, because that will stop you, it will stifle you. If you think you're competing with the time that you have to invest in your business versus the time that you have to show them, you know, if they want attention or this or that, and they don't understand that you are trying to build and what that dedication takes, that is a lot of times a wall and a stopping point for a lot of people. So I do have to mentor people, women specifically, through that a lot.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm sure that's something to face. Norzella Owens, I see you on. Thanks for watching. Randy Glass, I see you. Appreciate you. If you guys are just now joining us, we're going to be wrapping up soon, but we've been talking with serial entrepreneur, female entrepreneur, Celeste Jackson, and she is a successful businesswoman, and I am so excited that she has considered to join us on today. Now, before we end though, I do want to ask you about this mentorship that you basically, I mean, because you alluded to it, you know, a little bit throughout our session on today, but I want you to tell, and I'm looking through my questions to make sure I didn't miss anything that I should have asked you.
Okay.
I missed a lot of questions, but that's okay. But talk to us about being an advocate for women, and then also being a mentor for those in underserved communities, this passion that you have.
Yes. Well, just the passion came from me not being able to find mentors when I was actually starting out in my journey. It was very difficult to find the right sources. I tried SCORE. That's some place that you all can try if you have just started a business.
Mm-hmm.
SCORE, which is usually housed in like out here in the south suburbs, it's in Governor State University, but they are business advocates that are supposed to assist you along your journey when you're just starting out, and they help you with free mentorship. Free, just ways to find templates for business plans and things of that nature. But I had to search out all of those sources myself. And so I felt like I was not ever introduced. And I wish they would introduce it into high school. You really do. I mean, and I'm sure in some places they probably have by now, but we really do need to have financial literacy classes early on, starting at least 8th grade at the very least. Mm-hmm. Financial literacy classes, entrepreneurship classes, business management classes, all of that needs to be offered. But because it was not, the reason I became a business mentor is because so many people, just as friends, seeing me become successful, had questions, and I've never been stingy with that information. So I made sure that I learned as much as I could about the SBA and their associations, becoming a certified woman-owned business, a minority certified business. All of those things are extremely important if we ever want to get government contracts, if we want to, those are the easier ways for us to succeed and to stand out in business. A lot of people have money that they set aside for certain projects. It could be flooring, it could be cleaning, it could be whatever contract you name it. It could be the grocery store run. Honestly, they have money set aside for companies to acquire. Mm-hmm. But they want you to be 51% woman owned or 51% minority owned in your business. And you also want to be certified, because those things provide the bullet points that they're looking for to set your application on top of everyone else's. So just make sure I wanted to make sure that I could provide those resources to people who needed them and were trying to get into business as a woman, as a minority woman. All of that makes a difference. I'm also the book we talked about a little bit at the very beginning that I'm writing has to do with being a minority business owner and a service technician. I'm in a small elite group of people that discuss the types of issues that we have on our journey. And our issues are different a lot of times than what they've experienced. Wow. And so we have to make sure that we set the map for those that look like us, the women in business and the brown in business, because it makes a difference. Yeah. There's a lot that I wish I could, the interview would go on forever, but honestly, having somebody tell me, that it didn't matter that I was a woman or didn't matter that I was brown, when we've had a gun pulled on us before, just trying to perform our work because they didn't think we belonged where we were. And we were the professional and the expert. So it makes a difference. And you definitely have to know how to handle all situations that you might wind up in. And that's why I'm a business mentor. That's why I'm an advocate for women, and I'm an advocate for minorities, and I love all businesses. I don't exclude. I just make sure that we're included.
Okay. It sounds like your experiences when you're mentoring, you're not just gonna deal with the pity pat. Having a gun pulled on you. I mean, that's some serious stuff right there.
Well, yeah, if they don't think you belong in their neighborhood and you're working on a Sunday, work order or not, work clothes or not, work vehicle or not, it happens, but not to everyone. So everybody doesn't understand that can be something that you would have to deal with. You wouldn't prepare for that and going to work on a daily basis as the average Joe. You just wouldn't normally. But bringing that up so that because once I brought it up and understood how many other people had dealt with that sort of situation, and it makes a difference as to who you are, who they're encountering, all of the things that we've experienced, it can make a difference. And so I want to document it so that people don't have to learn the hard way.
So your book will almost be like a how-to type thing, or?
Yes, I have two books coming out, but one is definitely going to be geared more to the preparation of working in our service field, both as a woman and as a minority.
I love it. I absolutely love it because, again, your experiences will teach you. They can also help to train others. So my hat is off to you to want to share, in a book form, what individuals can, watch out for, what they can possibly expect, because who's thinking, okay, I'm going to start a business that everything is just going to be peachy keen, you don't think that you're going to have that, pushback or, maybe people talking about you or whatever, somebody trying to sabotage, that could happen. But, again, I'm glad you're going to write it down because that's going to help somebody.
Yeah.
To persevere, to pursue. It also helped those individuals who probably already had in their mind, this is what I want to do. It's within me to do this.
Yes.
But I've been discouraged a little bit or whatever, or what have you. So thank you for being an advocate. Thank you, for being someone that individuals can look to say, oh, she did it. She did it. And, know that they can as well. You guys, thank you. I see your comments. I'm sorry. Let me jump back over here. Hey, Joseph Lewis, thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Lisa says, yes, advocates for women. That is so, so important. Watch Party, I'm not forgetting about you. I'm going to hop over there real quick, making sure I didn't get any other comments here. Okay, they're waving, acknowledging. Now, many of you may have to go back and rewind after we end today so that you can listen to this entire session. She was, what do the kids say? Are you spitting knowledge? What they say?
Yes, they do. They say spitting knowledge, dropping knowledge, but spitting. She's spitting. Yeah.
She was spitting. I'm so old, I don't know what all that stuff means, but okay, I have an idea. I may be saying it wrong.
That leads me to your next show, which is Thursday, about Lil Boosie. I can't wait to tune in.
Yes,
to see what people have to say about that.
Okay,
yeah.
I want to see too. No, no, but seriously though, that's a good thing. Again, guys, I appreciate you for joining and watching on today, for taking time out to listen to this wonderful woman of God. I had placed in one of my posts that I wanted to introduce you to someone, and that's my favorite scripture that I put up on there. One of my favorite scriptures, St. Luke 1:45. Basically, she believed she could, so she did. That's the summarization of that scripture, okay?
Yeah.
And blessed is she.
Yes.
And she is certainly blessed. She has come today. She has talked to us about her businesses. She's talked to us not only about her businesses, what she does and how they were created, why they were created, but she also has given us pointers and have encouraged you, those of you that are thinking about starting a business, those of you that have started a business, maybe you run into some snags, some bumps along the road. Celeste has been here today to talk to you as well. Pastor Kenneth Lockhart, I think I did see you on here. I appreciate you. I don't know if I recognized you. But again, all of you that have jumped in on today, you hopped on the live feed, the watch party, you've been listening on YouTube. Thank you again so much. Celeste, we did it, honey. We did it.
Yes.
And it has been a delight to say the least. You have
Thank
come in
you.
on today, and we have to have you back because I want to hear about this book. I want to
Okay.
hear more about it. I want to be first in line to buy it.
Okay. I'll make sure you are one of the first to know.
Yeah.
And I so appreciate. I just want to say thank you so much again. I enjoy you every week. Every time that I get an opportunity, whether I'm on the expressway, I just put it on so I can hear it. I appreciate you and Apostle Dion and everything that you do, and Dr. Shirley Hill and all of your beautiful guests. This show it's inspiration in itself, and I appreciate that. You touch on a lot of subjects that we all need to hear, and I appreciate you're giving back. This is your open platform to give back on a weekly basis, and we appreciate you. You do a beautiful job at every single week, and you look gorgeous, so we appreciate you allowing us an opportunity to share on your platform.
Well, thank you. Thank you again. I appreciate those kind words. I accept them and receive them. Sometimes it can get a little lonely out here, but sometimes when you hear people hear that it's helping someone, and you actually said in the beginning, if you can help one person,
yeah,
and then you've done it. And I always say that, if I can help one individual, I'm doing my job. And I just want God to be glorified. I'm not out here for popularity contests or anything like that. We want to have a platform that individuals can come, they can converse, they can hear others who have gone through maybe their similar situations. You may be on a life's journey. You may think, oh, I'm the only one going through this. How do I get through it? But then you hear somebody else's story and then hear how they came out of it. That can be a motivation for you and something that will help you to get through. So that's what we're trying to accomplish here in Mind, Body, and Soul. So again, if we've helped somebody, just one person,
just one person,
right, then we've done our job. So again, thank you, Celeste. I know this is a busy woman. I'm telling you, she is up early and stay out late. She got all the in between and everything. Probably going from one business to the other, whatever. But thank you for taking time today to be with us here on Mind, Body, and Soul. You came to get caught in the net. We don't take that lightly.
Yes. I was waiting. I'm so thankful that I got to do it. So thank you.
All right. Any last minute words for our guests on today from you?
Take that leap of faith. If you have passion, just make sure that you take that leap of faith. There is no perfect time. So waiting for the kids to grow up is not the perfect time. It doesn't work out in that way. So if you feel it within your heart, if it's been placed within you, make sure you take that leap.
Love it. Hey, I love those last parting words from Mrs. Celeste Jackson, serial entrepreneur, again, has graced our presence here at Mind, Body, and Soul. So we're thankful. Thank God for you, my listeners, my watchers on today. Beatrice, that's so sweet. Yeah, you can go ahead and rewind and and listen to the entire show on today. There's certain people I look for on my lives, and when I don't see them, I know they're either busy or at work. Beatrice is one of them. But again, shout out again. Buddy Gill said say his birthday shout out again, so I will do that. I guess he missed it. Another birthday shout out to you, buddy. We appreciate you here at Mind, Body, and Soul, and it's my big brother there, guys. So I pray that you are enjoying your day. Celeste actually mentioned you guys join us on tomorrow night. Apostle Dion Hunt and I will be on my second show, Mind, Body, and Soul A&D Conversation at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. On tomorrow night, we will be on, we'll be on our page, Mind, Body, and Soul A&D Conversation, and it's going to be a hot topic. You guys come help me with it. Why don't you? Be a conversation talking about Lil Boosie. Woohoo! That was a suggested topic, so we're going to try and delve into that on tomorrow. But make sure you guys stick with me. And hey, go to my website, GetCaughtInANet Radio, GetCaughtInANetRadio.com. There you will find past shows. You'll find my positive mental health tips as well. Stick with me, subscribe to my YouTube channel so you will not miss a beat. we're going to get out of here and we'll be back next week. We will have Dr. Shirley Hill. Celeste Jackson mentioned her as well. She will be on next week for our monthly health and wellness segment next week. And she's got a hot one for us, something that I think you all need to listen to as well. All right, I'm going to get out of here, play my little music, and then we will see you guys next week. Hey, don't hesitate to come on and jump in and get caught in a net. Take care, Celeste.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Get caught in a net with a net. Mind, body, and soul. Get caught in a net with a net. Your intellectual radio show. Here to inspire you and encourage you. Be your very best. Get caught in a net with ANet.
Take care, guys.